Hey guys, John over here at Powerhaus. Today we have on the stand one of our 1776 single 34 pit carburetor motors. We like to consider this our version of a stock VW motor. The internals consist of pretty much stock crank, stock heads, stock cam, and with the exception with the 90.5 piston and cylinders, that's what makes it a 1776. Of course, we're using all new parts, aluminum case, aftermarket sheet metal, and the 009 distributor, and we have the A1 1.5" Sidewinder stainless exhaust. This one is going to Wentworth Motorsports. They're in Brewster, Massachusetts, and I believe this is the seventh motor they purchased from us. And this one's going to go into one of their customers' 72 Brazilian transporter. One of the nice things about our business is we do everything in-house. It's just Jerry and I building the motors, my wife up front, and she'll chase down the parts and organize and help us, with our orders and supplies and everything else. So it works out great. We'll machine the cases, we'll set up the heads, we tailor the sheet metal to make it fit, jetting on the carburetor, float bowl setting, intake manifold. I mean, a lot of these aftermarket parts people get frustrated with, and I understand, because if you're not set up to modify and tailor it and fit it, it can be a lot of work. So we have a little spot on the other side of the shop over there that we have a mill and a lathe, and we have our cutters and sanders, and everything's set up, so it works pretty good for us. But yes, there is a lot of fitment of some of these parts, and it takes a little bit of work. When we do the case, we deburr the insides of the case. Even the stock crank sometimes has a hard time fitting in these aluminum cases because the cases have so much material on them. Sometimes different cranks, they'll hit in certain spots, so we know where to machine all that out. I mean, just a lot of little details that we've learned over the years, and it makes it easier. If you were doing this for the first time at home, sure, it's going to take quite a bit of time and you'll be frustrated, but like I said, we do everything in-house. We're set up for it, so it works out okay for us. And even though we're a small shop, we do have a lot of great input from some of our good friends. Our neighbor Mark at HRP, he helps us a lot. We have a few other people that we can consult with, really talented people, so they help us out quite a bit. So we really appreciate that, and we really appreciate our customers choosing us for these motors. We know there's a long wait for our motors, and we really do appreciate that as well. Right now we're at about 8 months, which is the longest we've ever been. Some of the parts are hard to get, but we're managing that. We're getting cases, and we're getting these parts in the best we can. Supplies has been short, and we get the question about shipping. We ship in-state, no problem. Out of country, it's so expensive right now. We just suggest the customer source their own shipping company, and we can box the motor up for $250, and then we'll handle the paperwork, and we'll put it in an internationally approved box, and then as long as you supply the shipping company, we can go from there. So we really appreciate that. So as far as a single carburetor setup, it's not something we do a lot of. We do maybe 4 or 5 motors like this a year. In the last video I posted on our Powerhaus VW YouTube channel, around 14 minutes in, I think it was, said Powerhaus VW air-cooled engine builder. I think that's the title of it. And we touched on dual carburetors and dual barrels, and why we use those, and why we don't do a lot of single carburetors. You can, if you're interested, you can check that video out and see that there. But on the single carburetors, we're not a big fan of the single carburetors unless it's a stock motor or a stock like a 1776. The minute you start putting bigger pistons on it and bigger heads, compression and cam, then it's going to need more air, and I don't feel the single carburetor is enough air for the bigger motors, the bigger carburetors. So on the 1600 and the 1776 version like this, we call this our stock version, we'll use that carburetor, and it runs pretty good on these. It runs real well. But like I said, you can look at that other video and see why we go with the dual carb. One of the questions we get a lot when we post a single carburetor 1776 is we get, how much horsepower does it make? That wasn't our real big priority, is horsepower. That's not what we're really after with when we're doing something like this. We're always after reliability and drivability. So when we do a little 1776 instead of the 1600, I mean, we're using the bigger cylinders for a little bit more horsepower and torque. Obviously the exhaust is going to give a little bit more in the 009, but we're really just trying to make a simple motor that makes a little bit better than a stock motor. In this particular case, a stock motor is, I think it's 60 or 65 horsepower. This one might be 75, maybe a little bit more. That small amount is very hard to detect on an older dyno. So unless you have a data acquisition and a good room, you really can't give an accurate number. So, you know, we're gonna guess that it's 10 or 15 more horsepower than a stock 1600 dual port motor. Of course, at some point we'll put it on we'll put data acquisition on our setup and we'll get a more accurate reading. But for the most part, we're just trying to make it reliable. All our motors use the aluminum case, which we like a lot better than the magnesium case. It's real strong. We're using a brand new stock crank, and like I said, stock cylinder heads. And a lot of guys will ask, you know, hey, why don't you put a bigger cam in it, or bigger pistons, or bigger cylinders on it? We can do all that, but then again, we're gonna go to the dual carburetors. And by the time you do a bigger crank and bigger heads, I mean, you might as well buy the 1835 or the 1914. And nowadays, engine size doesn't change much in price. When you start buying dual carburetors, and when you start buying a counterweighted crank, it doesn't matter if you buy a stock crank or a stroker crank, the price is pretty close anyway. So, and bigger is not gonna take away from any of the reliability and drivability. These cases, like I've mentioned before in some of the past videos, these cases will hold a bigger crank and a bigger piston and cylinder without jeopardizing it, without the studs pulling out. You're not thinning it out. So these cases will hold that power. But this motor is running real smooth. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up right now. Jerry already broke this motor in. He's not here right now, but he already broke this motor in and set the timing, ran through the valves, and he says this one's running real smooth. We'll go ahead and fire this one up right now and see how it works. So we'll go ahead and box this one up, and this one will be on its way to Massachusetts.
tomorrow.